This is Turd Flinging Monkey for TFM News. I'm going to be responding to an article in the Chronicle of Higher Education called Prominent Medieval Scholars Blog on Feminist Fog Sparks an Uproar by Rio Fernandez. I really want you to read this article. I'm going to dissect it, but I want you to read it because the lack of self-awareness is so strong. When we describe the red pill versus the blue pill, it really is so critical. When you see the world through the red pill, you see things that other people simply don't see. And I'm going to demonstrate that when we read this article. This Rio Fernandez doesn't understand what the hell is going on. By attacking this guy, he's actually proving every single one of his points. This article completely unintentionally, demonstrably proves the point of the person he's trying to criticize. And they're so completely oblivious to it all because they don't understand the red pill at all. But without further ado, let's just get into the article. It starts off saying, quote, "A months-old blog post written by a respected medieval scholar, Alan J. Franzen, has gained a second life on social media and whipped the discipline into a frenzy. The post, entitled How to Fight Your Way Out of the Feminist Fog, and published on Mr. Franzen's personal website, attacks feminism, alluding repeatedly to anti-male propaganda, paints men as victims, and offers advice on how they should clear the fog. Mr. Franzen retired in 2014 after more than 35 years at Loyola University, Chicago. The post borrows terminology often associated with men's rights activism, including encouragement for men to take the red pill of reality, not the blue pill of illusion, and to break away from the feminist fog. The fog," Mr. Franzen explains, "represents how feminism hangs over society in a sour mix of victimization and privilege, and intimidates men into accepting its perspective. Medieval scholars have widely condemned the post online as misogynistic under the hashtag #FemFog." Unquote. Okay, so let's back the truck up and let's go through this a little bit slower. So here we have a respected academic, a 35-year professor, who after his retirement, he's now retired, he's untouchable. They can't get him fired, they can't ruin his life. He's retired, he can say whatever the hell he wants. And he's talking about how feminism hangs over everything, and he's talking about the red pill and the blue pill, and this sour mix of victimization and privilege. So that's what he's saying. He's talking about how feminism hangs over everything, which it absolutely does. Now watch this author completely obliviously ignore everything he just wrote and prove his points. It continues, quote, "The reaction has also taken the form of flog post rebuttals along with lighthearted memes mocking the idea that a feminist fog is gripping society. For many in the small, close-knit field, though, Mr. Franzen's comments were an unwelcome window back to a time when medieval studies were less open to women, and a reminder that discrimination persists. Bullshit. There's no discrimination, not in college. Colleges openly pander to women. They throw so much money at women, trying to get them, please, take all this money, get a degree and nothing. We know you're just going to leave the workforce in 5 to 10 years to have a family and waste all this money, leave the taxpayers holding the bill, but please take it. Diversity, diversity. Women not being welcome? If you can do the job, you're welcome. The problem isn't women that can do the job not being welcome. The problem is women who can't do the job demanding to be permitted into jobs they're not qualified for at the expense of better qualified men." The article continues, quote, "In an interview with the Chronicle, Mr. Franzen, 68, defended his comments which he said he had posted last summer. Quote, "Anytime you challenge any aspect of feminism, you're going to hear that you hate women," he said. Quote, "I think this is a standard response to anyone that wanders off the reservation. I don't think they are doing a really great job at responding to my ideas." He also repeatedly asserted that his post wasn't meant to put women down or claim men are superior, but to build men up and say that they should be comfortable enough to develop a critical attitude about feminism. Unquote. Okay, let me just focus on this. So he's saying, when the Chronicle, people who published this article that I'm reading, they interviewed him to get his take on the controversy. And he states that whenever you criticize feminism, you're accused of hating women. And he is, in this exact article, he's being accused of hating women, and I'll demonstrate that. He's accused of hating women multiple times in this article. He also says that they're not doing a great job of responding to his ideas, which they're not. At no point in this article do they respond to his criticisms. They don't respond to any of his points. They just call him a woman hater. even though they interviewed him, and even though they quoted him and they wrote his quotation in this article, it just flew over their heads. They're doing exactly what he accused them of doing. While they're quoting him, pointing out what they're doing is exactly what he said. Like, I just don't understand. Are the synapses not connecting? Is the light on upstairs but no one's home? I just don't get it. Now, it is interesting to point out that he isn't asserting that men are superior to women. He's simply trying to build men up. Now, I obviously go a bit farther than that because I assert that men are superior to women. But, he's trying to be very level-headed and middle of the road. He simply wants to help men develop a little bit of backbone so that they are allowed to be critical of feminism, which is stepping all over them and accusing them of hating all women if they don't absolutely bow down and serve the gynocracy. Now here's the twist. Here's the M. Night Shyamalan twist. It says, quote, Mr. Franzen added that he believed people assumed he was a blanket supporter of feminism because he is gay. Quote, as I used to say to my students in class, as soon as you tell people you're gay, they'll tell you what you think, he said. Just from the fact that I'm gay, people assumed I endorsed all their positions about whatever. But many of Mr. Franzen's critics said his record of challenging prejudice in the field made his recent rhetoric surprising, unquote. He's still fighting prejudice. He's fighting feminist prejudice against men. And they're saying, oh, this is really surprising. You've been so against prejudice in the past. Nothing's changed. You're just so gynocentric that you can't see there's a prejudice that he's fighting against because you're a bunch of manginas and women. You think that he should be fighting for feminists because they're so oppressed, because they have all these laws that, oh wait, they don't. The laws are completely on their side, and it's actually men who are being oppressed, but you don't give a shit. And if a man dare speak up about these realities, he's a misogynist. And he's not fighting against oppression. He's not fighting against prejudice. He's in favor of prejudice because vagina. And this is why it's a waste of time to engage with manginas and feminists. They're so fucking retarded. They don't see reality the way you and I do. They're just completely off in cloud cuckoo land. And again, here's where the article proves his point. It says, quote, it's encouraging that Mr. Franzen's post has been widely condemned. As traumatic as it is to find out that someone can really be writing the kind of stuff that is so terribly against women, it really mattered that people older in the field so firmly and so forcefully came out against it. To say this is not the field we're in, this is not the field we want, we will not stand for this, unquote. I don't blame the people who aren't retired for towing the feminist line because they know which side their bread is buttered on. Now this guy's retired, he can say whatever the hell he wants. But notice everything is about, oh, you're so against women. Any criticism of feminism, even by pointing out how oppressive feminism is, how it's everywhere, how it hangs over everything, and men aren't allowed to speak their mind, which is being demonstrably proven in this article. You're against women. Why are you so against? Why do you hate women? Brr, you hate women, brr. Just completely oblivious. He didn't say he hated women. In fact, he even goes out of his way to say men aren't superior to women despite the evidence. I mean, this guy's a medieval scholar. He knows history. He knows men are superior to women. I mean, he's gay. He obviously believes men are superior to women in more ways than one. But he dare not say it. And despite going out of his way to toe the middle line, to not be too extreme, he's still labeled a misogynist. He's still accused of being against women and hating women. Just, you can't win, so don't even try. Don't try to be this middle-of-the-road nice guy. I mean, speak the truth. Men are superior to women. Eat a dick. That's all there is to say. You're gonna call me misogynist anyway, so fuck you. You shouldn't be talking with your mouth full. The article closes with the following, quote, the attitude is reflected in the field's changing demographics, said Elaine Treharne, an English professor at Stanford University who shared the public statement on Twitter. I've been in the field for 30 years, and I think the field gets better with every generation, she said. More welcoming, more open, and with a broader perspective. Mr. Cohen said he had already seen evidence of a changing of the guard. There are lots and lots of women that are medievalists, he said. Honestly, young women medievalists are probably the future of the field at this point because they seem to be doing the most interesting work, unquote. They're feminists. And in fact, actually, I skipped over this point. Let me go back. This is actually earlier in the article. I want to tie this together with the last paragraph. And this paragraph reads, quote, Miss Joy, who runs the open access publisher Pencrum Books, said she left the field out of frustration with how her work was being received and how she's being treated as a queer woman. He was symptomatic of a field that is stunning for its racism, homophobia, and misogyny, unquote. this fucking SJW bitch, Miss Joy, fuck you. This cunt is quoted accusing a gay man of being homophobic because she wasn't allowed to push her feminist SJW agenda. The reason why women dominate certain fields and not others, they usually dominate the fields where there aren't objective answers, because then they can bullshit and manipulate to get what they want. Where there is a clear, defined answer, they tend not to be able to get away with that much. When you go to a math department or medieval history and you try to push some feminist SJW bullshit, they're going to say, no, the facts are right here. We have all these history books, we have all these evidence. This is established history. There's no room for your bullshit. And I'm like, you're oppressing me, brr. I need a safe space. And then they leave. They go become sociologists where they belong, where they can just make bullshit up. But, you know, this is the future, according to this article. The future of medieval history belongs to the SJW because academia belongs to the SJW. Everything's being rewritten. And it's really sad. And what's really sad is these academics can't say anything until they're retired. Once they're safely away from any consequences of exercising their free speech, then they can exercise their free speech. They can finally say what's been on their mind probably for years or decades. But they dare not say because they didn't want to lose their jobs. But anyway, I just want to wish Mr. Franzen a very long and wonderful retirement. You've earned it, sir. Enjoy your retirement. This is Turd Flinging Monkey signing off.